Quincy. Being a good boy over there. Just a good boy. He's a good boy. That's so funny. That's so weird that... Hello, Pamela. How are you? That is so weird that you set up a shot with your regular camera and then when you go on YouTube, it totally is different. Yeah, how's that shot there? And how are you, Pamela? Hopefully your Christmas shopping is almost done. Angle vertically is good. Okay. Not too bad. You know, with the economy, as the economy is today, it's tough. But we've made it happen with Christmas shopping. I'm almost done. The great thing with not having a ton of money is it's less shopping. Hey, Michael, how goes it? You have to work with what you have, and you're all ready for Christmas. That's awesome. I know one of the things that I have focused on doing with Christmas, and I've been doing this for like the past probably about 5 years or so, is have a budget. You know what I mean? You have a budget of what you need to, what you want to spend, and kind of have a gray area of how much further you're going to go, but not go into hock every year because, you know, if you spend far more than you can afford, then it makes it that much more stressful the year after. It may take you, some people, you know, depending on how much you spend, you could literally, it may take you another year or two with interest and whatnot to get past it. Yeah, I know. It's very sad the way the world is today. Yeah, I just, as someone that's an empath, all this emotional, hey Gene, all this emotional stuff that's come, all this energy, you know, that's why I don't watch the news more than a few minutes. I just get the quick and dirty, so to speak. 5 minutes of the news that's plenty, because then when you know, I already get that energy anyway. But then all that extra energy is like, you know, top on top of it, and then before you know it, it gets overwhelming, even with a buffer. And I've learned how to buffer things, but even then, it just still isn't fun, it isn't good. So I try not to watch the news either much. You know what I mean? Just to keep current, and that's about it. I don't go much further than that. So how's the audio and video for everybody? Is the audio and video okay? Yeah, I usually, if I'm not catching it on CNN, sometimes I'll catch it on Facebook, but even Facebook can be fake. You know? And definitely, we send good juju to everyone in that train. It's horrible. It's horrible that that this stuff is happening. There's a lot of things that are happening that are just tragic. Oh, good. I'm glad the video and audio is good. We have a little Quincy here. He's being a good boy. So you can see Quincy. I'll show Quincy. Here we go, ready? There's Quincy. Quincy, say hello. He's chilling like a good dog. Now to get that angle the way it was, about there is good, I think. Yes. So yeah, so unfortunately with it just seems like every day there's some kind of tragedy. This is not my apartment. This is the upstairs of my house. My cave is a little different. I don't actually have a Christmas tree up, but that's the advantages of having access to other people's places. So this is the upper part of my house. I'm in the process of doing a complete reno. Honestly, I'm in the transparency department. I'm actually doing a complete renovation of life. So, all of you are very used to me saying life is messy, and as much as I like to show and teach and be a good person and do the best I can, still doesn't mean I'm not polished. It's still messy. It is. Accept or not, judge or not, perceive or not. And on that note also, there are people out there that will perceive you, even loved ones that may perceive you in a way. They may perceive you in a way that is not you fully. But it is what it is. As long as you are fully vulnerable and true to yourself, and you're honest with yourself, I think that's really, really important, because the biggest critic will be the person in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth. True that. But that's just how it is, and I've got a lot of experience of being judged and criticized all my life. Every single gray hair. You know what I mean? It just happens. It happens. And you can't get away with it. If you look at television, you look at anywhere, there's all this stuff happening. So it is what it is. So the thing is, you just have to do the best. In fact, I saw a live stream today, and the live stream was, I can't remember the quote. It was about being the best first copy, as opposed to being a second copy to someone else. It's better to be a first copy for yourself than be a second copy to someone else, or of someone else. Maybe my trusty producer can find that for me. But I saw that in a live stream today that I popped in to support another really good live streamer. She's pretty amazing. Very awesome mentor. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Cynthia. What was the quote? The quote is, it's better to be an original version of yourself than a second copy of someone else, something like that. But she had put in that, she does a quote every morning, and she's pretty awesome. So big shout out to Cynthia, because she's pretty cool peeps. So yeah, so while my trusty producer is searching for that quote, I can continue. So yeah, today's topic is, of course, within the Christmas spirit, henceforth why I'm filming here. I'm filming next to the tree. So yeah. Hopefully that didn't give anyone any vertigo. But but yeah, the world today is kind of weird. So holidays, we need to try to make the best of it, with connection to spirit. And I'm not trying to step on anyone's religious beliefs. It's all about spirit to me. It's all about the All Father, or the Great Spirit, or the Creator. So whatever you name the Creator is entirely up to you. Whether you're a pagan or Protestant, there's no judgment. There's no judgment here, and I will not judge your way of faith and how you walk your walk, because it doesn't do that. There you go. Be yourself, because the original is better than a copy. Well, that's enough. That's good enough. But that's similar. It was a similar quote that someone else had said. But that's good enough. That's close. I think could have been the same person, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, so Christmas is hard. You know, you have to find the added Christmas spirit, and you know, that's the hard part. Is, hey Tina, be yourself, because the original is better than the copy. Yeah, that is a good quote. But ultimately, too, it's a balancing act. Oh, he just adopted a little boy, but he's in ICU and coma due to triple. Oh, wow. Well, hey Tina's son, and his name Tina, and I'm sending good healing juju to your adopted son. Can you offer me his name as well? I will keep him in my thoughts and prayers. ICU is never fun. I know, I've been in the ICU, and that, as well as, you know, there's a lot of people there. Okay, so Matthew. Okay, fantastic. Ariel's brother is also named Austin. So everyone, please send good juju to Matthew in the ICU, because you know, it's not something that no one wants to be in the hospital, but when you're in the hospital and you're sick, it's a difficult energy there. It's a really difficult energy being in the hospital, and there's a feeling of solitude, even though you're surrounded by professionals and people. Without having loved ones there, it could be really, really scary and daunting for someone, especially someone that's younger. So yeah, so good thoughts and prayers to Matthew, and as well as anyone that has gone through any kind of damage or hurt or anything, injury, with this train incident in New York, because too many things are happening right now. And this is not the topic of the day, by the way. This is not the topic, but it's noteworthy that it's unfortunate these events are happening between, you know, homegrown terrorism and people not doing their job and people losing their rights, you know, and then all of these natural occurrences like Puerto Rico and Texas and Florida. My heart goes out to everyone that's in pain, because I know it's truly a horrible thing to have to endure. And it's tough enough getting up every day and doing what you need to do with the world being overwhelming and being on top of you. It just doesn't help. Being, bombarded by the negativity that's just hard. So I will say this too, about everyone here. I have to give props and an absolute A for your spirit and heart, because a lot of the people that watch my broadcast and watch my show, they do their best to promote good social media. They put out, good. You are all amazing social activists. Even if it's a click, even if it's just sharing a good post, do it. And I'm really proud of you guys for doing that. You don't need my praise, but I'm very impressed that the group of people that are part of the Insight family, I have to say, they really do their best to not promote negativity. They really do their best to promote positivity and putting their best foot forward in the world, which you guys are awesome. So, awesome. I did check out that video, and that was pretty cool. And she's pretty awesome. Actually, she just came out with a new one. The precious metal clay. I really want to get my hands on the precious metal. Now, I have no idea why that just happened. That was weird. I don't know if you guys saw that, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, video stream went south. Crazy. But yeah, so I would love to play with precious metal clay. That's probably one of my next investments I'm trying to play with. Because also, too, included, and I thought about this recently, and I haven't even brought this to my Insight team yet, by the way. But I am actually thinking about, and you know what? I'm going to do an impromptu survey right now, right here, right now. Yeah. Would any of you, what do you guys think of handcrafted stuff? I'm actually thinking of handcrafting, like malas, for example, like these kind of sort of, you know. They'd be blessed and consecrated and all that good stuff. But also, too, if I get it in a hold of precious metal clay, actually adding that to the merch. What do you think? So handcrafted stuff? I was even thinking of maybe doing handcrafted or hand-carved walking sticks and things. I'm not sure if that would be under the Insight with Moonshadow umbrella, or that would be under my own brand, which there is a difference between the two. So you guys, so how about throwing a one-up? You guys like the concept? Do you think it's worth going into a little further or developing it? And of course, I would try to keep the cost affordable and reasonable, of course, because I know handcrafted artisan stuff can be pricey. Great. Well, then I will think about that and we'll put it to the drawing board and see what we can do. You know, because I'm thinking handmade stuff. I just thought about this over the past couple of weeks, but I have, but look on Etsy. Yeah, that's an idea. That'd be cool. Awesome. I will definitely look to do that on Etsy. For sure. Also, yes. So that is. So what else did I want to bring up? The merchandise. We're very, very close to the merchandise being ready to go. Just finalizing up on the logo. So that's what's the stopping point right this moment, but it'll happen. Yes, I would probably do that. I would probably actually have some form of little snippet or blurb doing that. Now, while I have you guys here, so malas, or would you guys would you think you guys would be interested in that? Now, depending on what they're made out of, that's what would revolve around the cost, but I was thinking malas would be one. And again, my intention is for every single thing that I would do as merchandise, even as my own brand, I would want to give to charity, give a percentage to charity right away. And to me, honestly, it doesn't matter if I don't have it. It doesn't matter if I'm not a millionaire. I believe in giving back the best you can. So that's my intention, for everything to be priced in such a way where a portion of that can go towards a charity or a cause. So that's just, yeah. Well, I don't know about like right away. We're still this is just an idea. That's a concept. But but if you're interested, definitely do shoot me a DM, or you could you can drop a note on Inside the Moonshadow, a message there too, or in my social media. But that'd be cool. So yeah, we're looking at two different possible merchandise, like branding ideas. Something that would be more me, and then something that would be show oriented. So yeah, so we're in the process of that too. Awesome. So we're gonna get onto the topic of the day, and I'm so glad you guys are here. I know. Also, one more question before we start. Now, next Monday is actually Christmas Day. So awesome. Even if you just share it, that'd be fantastic. And thank you. I appreciate that, Michael. Because I know money isn't flowing. It'd be nice if abundance flowed in the form of money all the time. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, so now other question is about next Monday. It's on the 25th, which is Christmas Day. So what are you guys doing for Christmas Day? Because I'm looking at scheduling whether it be Christmas Day or Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So I'm kind of debating on. I'm leaning towards Christmas Day. So either way, I still may do it, even if not a lot of people show up. Which, the show must go on no matter what. And a lot of my shows landing on Monday do land on a holiday. So this is something that happens quite often. So I was just putting a heads up out there to see if people were going to be around home or if they were traveling or what they were doing, because that would also kind of give me an idea of what to do, whether it even be maybe a later on or earlier on in the day. So I don't know. Everyone has a different tradition. So, all right. Oh, cool. You'll be prepping for packing and stuff. But knowing you'll probably pack 2 days ahead of time, or three days ahead of time, or 4 days ahead of time. Q! Hey, Q. Welcome. Mwah. Great seeing you on. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna get this party started, and we're gonna get on the for the topic of the day. So awesome. All right. So okay, we have 23 minutes. So let's say for S&G, shits and giggles on my end. Let's say 24 minutes. 24 minutes in. All right? So you can start the timer whenever you're ready. Awesome. Welcome to Inside the Moonshadow. This is Moonshadow, and I'm an Integrative Holistic Therapist, CHI-vangelist, world traveler, global citizen, and a spirit soul having a human experience. Yeah, it could be messy, but it's a journey in itself. So welcome to another episode. We are in episode 101, and I have to give thanks and gratitude and appreciation to all of you that are here and have been here from episode 1 and even before episode 1, because this was developed from my radio days and TV days back in the day, to bring it to the new live streaming, the new world. So I thank you for all of you being here. You guys are amazing, and I'm just ecstatic that you guys are all here. Now, since it is Yule or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever tradition that you use or worship, I give you happy holiday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and all that good stuff. So, Merry Very and Happy New to all of you. So, the topic today, it's of course, since we're in the Christmas season or in the shopping season, doesn't matter what tradition that you go by, commercialism has hopped on and grabbed its claws into all of us. We have Black Friday, Thrifty Thursday, Goofy Day. We have Cyber Mondays. We have all this stuff, all these sales that are happening. But sometimes we forget, with all these big box stores with these inexpensive prices, we sometimes forget about the little mom and pop shops and the little local shops that you may, in little stores that you may see. There, I can honestly say, with the incoming barrage of Targets and Walmarts and all these big box stores, I've seen a lot of small mom and pop shops go under the steamroller of commercialism because they just couldn't function. They couldn't continue keeping their doors open because these big box stores, they're buying from China, Taiwan, and they're buying from everywhere. Which again, I'm all for. I've come to realize that nothing is specifically made just here. Right now, I'm streaming from. It could be either or, Alfredo. It could be for. I believe it's Wi-Fi, but it may bounce back and forth potentially. But that's another thing that we're trying to work on too, is connection everywhere, because I try to keep it live. Okay, and yes, Tina, I do like the fact that there's a day that it is for you to shop local. It's usually on a Saturday, and I try my best to get out there, even if it's not, even if I'm not specifically looking for something for someone. I do believe in doing that. There was a big thing that happened recently. I didn't film it or take footage. I should have, but it was a snowflake. It was a snowflake raffle. I did see that, Alfredo. I did catch a replay, and it looked really good. We'll have to talk. But locally, all the local businesses here in Bristol, they put together this. All the stores contributed, and they. Oh, that's perfectly okay. No worries, Alfredo. But a lot of stores, all in Bristol, would get together, and they all did a raffle. Now, granted, I didn't win the raffle. It would have been freaking-tastic to win, but I didn't. But that's okay. I'm sure it went to people that needed it and could really use the prizes. And there was like up to $2,000 was the grand prize. That would have been choice. That would have been sweet. Santa was there, of course, and some with a very Christmassy top hat with Christmas lights on it. It was pretty amazing. But a lot of people were there in the cold, there, and it was like a big old block party. A lot of those shops I do frequent, and I do enjoy buying from these little mom and pop shops, because a lot of times you may have handcrafted stuff, you may have stuff that's made in the region or in the community. There are a few stores right here in my hometown that all they sell is handcrafted stuff. In fact, there was one store that I had gone into that was it's an artisan-based, it's all an artist-based co-op. And everything they sell, and believe it or not, they're all reasonably priced as well for artisan, handcrafted, and I'm talking between clothes, hats, drinkware, pottery, stationery, gift cards, jewelry, the whole nine. So this is part of what inspired me into wanting to do this topic today. And like the Amish store, see, there you go. So now, like the Amish are well known for good furniture, and I can attest to that because I've actually seen Amish furniture, and it is pretty hardcore stuff. It is stuff that's old school, handcrafted, made in such a way that that's heirloom quality stuff. In the land of in the world today, we have everything is particle board, and you're buying basically glue and sawdust and a wood veneer. It looks like walnut, but it's really not walnut. It looks like pine, but it's really not pine. And after a little while, it gets wibbly wobbly, and then it just falls apart. So I will say that on occasion there is what you pay for. What you get is what you pay for. Sometimes you can actually find things that are affordable, that are reasonably priced, that are still amazing and incredible quality. But the secret here is you have to look. Looking is the point. And now, as people in this world, everything with this online way of shopping, we've tended to get a little, and again, not meant as a judgment, just an observation, but we've tended to get a little lazier because in our busy lifestyles, it is very, very hard to also make it out there and specifically go shopping for each person. So I would rather go shopping for less amount of people and try to make it as heartfelt and much as possible. Right. Well, see, that's the whole thing. So today's topic is really about looking and going to where it's, to little spots that you can find mom and pop shops in shopping local. So as much as, Walmart and Target is fantastic, I tend to like to go to places that have imported goods or goods from world goods, anything that's all over the world. Right. And Amazon does have all of that stuff too. But the shadow side to online shopping is you don't really know what you have until you see it. Me being an artist and a photographer, I can make almost anything look amazing. It's true. It's true. You look at the right angle. You look at the right, for a perfect example. If you look at a lot of these food commercials, I don't know if they've changed the way of what they're doing. But a lot of the food commercials, at least I remember when I was doing graphic arts and I was back in college many moons ago, many gray hairs ago, a lot of the food industry, it wasn't even food. We're talking about, exactly, Tina, Photoshop. We're talking about clay. So that burger that you want to rip your fangs into, clay. Airbrushed, and that steam, that yummy steam where the back of your mind you can actually smell that burger sizzling in the bun. Dry ice. Not a joke. Now, me being an artist and a multimedia artist myself, I enjoy photography, but I tend to keep it raw and organic. I don't use Photoshop much. In fact, I don't even have Photoshop. I will work with maybe saturation. I will tweak it a little bit, maybe compositionally. But other than that, I like the organic raw shot. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm more of a purist and more of the heart and soul type person as opposed to utilizing all kinds of stuff. Because, if I go ahead and just say, for example, next week, you saw me, and I had a black beard. I had the original color of my beard. My eyebrows were all colored. I wasn't wearing glasses. I was wearing contacts. I was wearing a suit. You'd be like, what the hell did you do to Moonshadow, and where is he? I don't think it would be received as well. So I'd rather be real and organic than all that polish and high maintenance, to be fair. But this is part of it. We are living right now kind of in a world of illusion. Like things you'd never think possible is possible. Things that you would never think happened, happened. So, in that vein of things, if you do shop online, here's an example. If you do shop online, you can't make it out, you could go on places like Etsy. You can go on places, on different sites where it's world craft, world goods, like goods that you are made all over, where you can get Peruvian jewelry. You can do all of that. Now, did I just say just shop local? Yes, I did. But it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for handcrafted stuff, sometimes you can't find it local within your area. And you're definitely not going to find it in a Walmart. You're definitely not going to find it in a Target. But you may find it in a TJ Maxx. You may find it somewhere else. Now, Etsy is a great resource, also Amazon, but look for a World Trade tab or something that's handcrafted tab in the stores that you look at or online. So that's something what you could look at as well. Now, what I like about there are some stores that actually bring in a lot of different designers, and you can get a good deal on them. So that's where you could still have something really nice, and it's designer stuff, and it's actually high-end product for lesser. But the main idea here is ultimately, if you go in and you, like when I shop, for example, when I shop for anybody, I don't care if it's anniversary, Christmas, birthday, whatever it is, I will walk into any said shop, any said store, and think about that person and be mindful of that person. And I think about what speaks to me, what that person would like. Now, a lot of people do gift cards and things like that. That's fantastic. That's a winner. That's a win-win situation. Or cash in a card. That's fantastic. But even then, it's something where you kind of have to dance between the balance of, commercialism and thoughtfulness, right? You have to look at the middle point between that. Yeah. But also too, now also be aware, Tina, regarding with ordering beads, make sure that they are genuine. Because a lot of times they could say that they're semi-precious or they're precious stones or whatever, and they're not. They could be fakes that look really good. Again, with Photoshop, you can almost make anything look amazing. I'm 110 years old. Do I look it? Only kidding. But the thing is, honestly, you could almost fake, or you could almost manipulate almost anything to make it look better than what it is. The real estate industry does it all the time. Cozy means the house is small. Comfy, cozy. Rustic, meaning we haven't done anything in this place for like the last 25 years. Wording is also nice garnish, a nice little garnish on top of the advertising. So this is consumer be aware type situation, and that's the important thing. However, when you look at handcrafted or local or artisan shops or mom and pop shops, it's less likely that you're going to find mass-produced stuff, because at least a lot of the people that I've seen, the shops that I've frequented, a lot of them make it a point to be mindful about where they get their stuff. They'll get free trade stuff the best they can. They will work on different movements and different charities. For example, there are charities out there. There's quite a few. In specific, there's a couple of different, I believe, women that make handcrafted jewelry, bracelets, and things like that. There's Africa, there's Peru as well. There's also, I want to say Ethiopia, but you will actually be able to buy this handcrafted jewelry, and the proceeds go to empowering women or bringing schools to their environment. That's when I say we're shopping local. You may still be able to be global and local at the same time and actually buy and feel really good about what you're buying. So part of it is also making what is very commercial, the straddling point of commercialism and the spirit and soul of the season of gift giving, finding the happy middle between those two, and being able to be thoughtful of someone and giving from your heart. That's the ultimate gift, is giving from your heart. So I would rather receive something that costs, $9.95, but it was handcrafted, than something that cost $49.95 or, $2,095 that was just mass produced. And Michael, it's a very valid point. Starbucks and Caribou Coffee, they only go with fair trade coffee. This is important stuff. Now, there's certain things brand-wise, like, for example, I'm not usually brand-centric with almost anything, but there are a couple of brands that I really, really do enjoy. Like one example is Bodum. Bodum is the company that I got my French press from. They're the original. They're amazing. The quality is there, and I'm on my second Bodum French press coffee maker because, unfortunately, in washing it, my first carafe died. The glass piece that goes in. But the thing is, Bodum is a good brand, and it's an international brand as well. I believe they're German or Swedish, but it's a great brand. So again, quality, durability, it's just amazing. It is just the best way to go. So it's more quality. I'm more quality centric than brand centric, if that makes any difference. If it's a quality product, and I know people that are specifically branded or brand centered on certain things, and they only get that one brand, i.e. smartphones or whatever, and that's all fine and good. But ultimately, it's really, if it works for you, it's personal preference, and if it's how it works for you. As an example, you have Panera. Panera is not little and local and mom and pop, but Panera gives a lot of money towards charity. In fact, one Panera went ahead and they went by the honor system. Now, people walking in, the prices were gone. You basically chose what to pay for, they chose what you pay for whatever said price, right? So now with Panera, they did this, I believe it was Seattle. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Seattle that did that. And they did it by the honor system. Now, there are some people that couldn't pay or didn't have it, so they paid $1, $2. There are some people that paid nothing. But the interesting human quotient of this, the sociological experiment or the psychological experiment of this was there were a good amount of people that would pay it forward. So basically, they would say, whoever's, pay for this person. Or if there was a person ordering next to them, they'd say, I want to take care of that person. So in the grand scheme of things, what ended up happening was they did not necessarily lose money. They didn't lose a big, huge chunk of their profit margin, blah, 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 because the human spirit prevailed and actually took care of their community. It was more community-based, and it worked out. Now, I don't know. I'd have to look up what they're doing it now. But yes, paying it forward is really important. Whether you pay it forward with your heart, with caring, with volunteering, all of it matters. Even clicking on a social media post matters. Now, also too, that being said, I started a small little, call it a movement, call it just a mindfulness intention. But if you're putting something out there that is inspirational, or if it's motivational, I'm not going to challenge you, but I'm going to ask you, if you're putting inspirational, motivational stuff out there, we can put out there the hashtag be strong, be amazing, be you. Now, the reason why I started doing this was to put together a mass movement of energy and juju out there so people can see it. We can track it. So if you put out inspirational stuff, and even now, lately on Instagram and Facebook as well, and Twitter, I've been putting out morning meditations every day. So be strong, be amazing, be you. You put it out there, people will see it. Enough people see it. I'm not going to talk about analytics and viral and all that crap. I'm not even talking. That's all great, but that's not really what it's all about for me. It's more the fact of more people doing more good and putting more heart and soul out there, especially in the darkness that we have today in the world. So paying it forward is important. Being out there is more important. Doing what good you can with how much you have, how little you have, is important. All of that really matters. So if you do put anything out there that's inspirational, or even if you repost something, or you share something, if it's inspirational itself and motivational, throw the hashtag on there. Be strong, be amazing, be you. Anything to do with individuality, anything to do with the power of spirit, about the power of soul, the power of one person making a difference. Well, see, there you go. That's awesome. So hashtags are a thing. Am I jumping on a bandwagon? It's not really jumping on a bandwagon, because I do everything kind of awkwardly different than most people. Sorry, not sorry. I can't be anything. I can't be anyone but myself. But this is important. So if you do put out something inspirational, motivational, do throw the hashtag in there. It's not because I want exposure about it. It's more like it's just building that community to say, look, this is what we're doing. And this is a flag, or that's what a hashtag is. It's basically just a spot, a little focal point to say, these are people being amazing. It doesn't matter if they're millionaires or not. They're putting amazing stuff out there. Oh, they're doing great stuff. Sorry about that. So, apologize. But if you do, please use that if you remember. That'd be fantastic. So now, in putting yourself out there, the world now is a whole lot more transparent. So what you see is like, is it fake? Is it scripted? Is it not? Is it real? Well, yes, very true, Michael. And also, too, you can track how well the movement's going. So I think that's really good. So that gives me an idea, not so much on analytics, like a lot of other people looking at, but it's more towards myself. How far is this going? Where is this going? How far is the reach? Because I really want more people doing more good, if it's possible. Because that old saying, be the light or the reflection. Because this world needs it. Now, going back to Christmas shopping. Now, a lot of you are probably already done. But even if it's birthdays, anniversaries, or anything like that, think about that person you're buying gifts for. That's really, really important. Because if you do that, that means it's so much, you're putting more love into it. A lot of times the difference between eating in a restaurant And some restaurants do put love into their meals. And some, and then there's some that, mom and pop shops, diners, and things like that. So it depends. But you notice, if you get a pie in the store and you get a homemade pie, call me crazy, but the homemade pie always tastes a little bit better. And the reason why usually is because there's more love in that pie. So it's interesting. And honestly, you can't beat handmade. You can't beat handmade stuff. And love is the secret ingredient on a lot of things. Absolutely. And I agree that it's a secret ingredient even when you buy things too. You may not have built that thing. You may have not handcrafted that thing. If you get the chance to handcraft something, that's even more amazing. And I've done that as well. I've made gifts for people. I've handmade cards, for people. And that's fun. It's fun. Even when I just sign someone's name, I sign it in a way and draw on the card and draw on the envelope to add a little bit of love in there. Add a little more part of it into the envelope. If you can handcraft a card, that's great too. Now, Christmas cards, it might be tricky because you may be making cards forever. For example, I'll give you an example just from my tree alone. This here, I made when I was in the 4th grade. This is still... Now, I am not in the 4th grade anymore, even though I may act it. But this little toy soldier, clothespin, I made this in 3rd or 4th grade, and there's a couple of soldiers floating around on this tree. So, as an example, and they, my family still hangs this little toy soldier up. Another example here is one of my amazing besties on the whole entire planet that made the painting that you see in a lot of my stuff, the painting behind me in a lot of my old broadcasts. She actually made this and made this angel. This was in lieu of a stocking stuffer, and she actually painted this and printed it up, and then made these, laminated it, and this is a great way of, adorning your tree. So this is what I'm saying. This is the whole point of looking and mindfully shopping. And this is why I wanted to do the topic today, is looking at it from that perspective. If it's easy to throw a lot of money into a card. What effort, what thought did you put behind it? Granted, money is money. It's currency. You can spend and you can get whatever you want. And in some situations and in some situations you want to do that because that's the way to go. It's either it was kind of late to get something to someone, but that shouldn't be your first. That shouldn't be your first thing. Gift cards and things like shouldn't be your first thing. To me personally, I think the gift cards are great. I've had many a time I've gotten gift cards for coffee, Starbucks and Dunkin' and all that. And believe me, that's still love because coffee is love. But then again too, that I have handcrafted gifts that I still treasure to this day. So it's important. So mom and pop shops. So if you're going to go ahead and do some last minute shopping, and we still have another 6 days, I think. You still have 6 days, it's now going to come up to a fevering pitch. This is where it's going to get cray-cray. Because people going to wonder, oh my God, I forgot, Auntie Lulu. I forget Uncle Ralph. I forget Cousin Rebuta. Yes, interesting names. But the thing is, you have a chance to check out your local scene, or check out Worldcraft, or not World of Warcraft, but Worldcraft. Handcrafted things from all over the world. Look at charities. Look at situations or places that you could buy something, and by default, buying it automatically goes towards a charity, goes towards a movement, goes towards helping other people. One example is, I believe it's called a Heifer Foundation. You can go ahead and, give in lieu of a gift to someone. You could give a gift to someone else with their name. Another aspect of something you can do, and I've done this before. I've done this one time, where I used the star registry, and someone that was very near and dear to me, I actually named a star after them. So that was a long, long, long time ago, but it was pretty awesome. And just having a constellation, having a star named after you, that's pretty badass. So really what's important is looking at, adopting. You can adopt a, part of a cause. You can adopt a wolf or an elephant or something in lieu of someone's name. Right now on social media, you see a lot of people on their birthdays, they're saying, I'm donating or I'm fundraising for my birthday. That's pretty awesome. And then that increases the mindfulness, and that increases the love and the thoughtfulness of what to divert a lot of what's happening today. So in all the crazy negative things that have happened, the one good thing that's happened is a lot of people have stepped up. A lot of people have moved up to saying, you know what, I'm going to use my voice to make good. I'm going to use my voice to bring positive change. I'm going to protest, or I'm going to move on something, or I'm going to do something that that helps other people. Something. So it doesn't matter if you're only one person. Hence why I said about the Be Strong, Be Amazing, Be You hashtag, is one little ripple can cause a wave. So it's something to think about. So even locally, there's a lot of different shops locally in my downtown area that I love going to see, and I don't see them enough. Unfortunately, I've seen a couple of shops change and have to downsize because, whether it's the cost, the real estate cost of being somewhere is so expensive, or big box stores have changed everything. There used to be a little music shop that I used to love going to locally in my hometown. Now, when these big box stores came up, it put them out of business, which was really sad because it was such a great little shop. A really cute couple owned the place. They were really awesome. And unfortunately, big commercials kind of steamrolled over them. Also, there's another music shop that's in the hometown next to me that they still sell vinyl. They sell all kinds of really cool things. You can get a lot of rare type stuff, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. So look in your hometown, and if you can, or if you don't have anything like that nearby in your area, you can go ahead and look online for that handcrafted stuff or local made stuff from somewhere else if you can't make it. So that's also part of what you can do as well. So taking a good look at that thing. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, catching one broadcast or catching multiple broadcasts, really it's all about emotion and heart and about being the most real version of you and put yourself out there and doing the best you can with what you have. Some of the most profoundly awesome people that I've ever met had much less than I. And it's fact. And it's fact. I'm talking, there are people that I've met that, had a ton of money as well. And they also did some or contributed or put out there what they can or gave back to their community, which is awesome. But some of the most profound people that touched my heart were actually people that didn't have it. There was something recently in one of my social posts that I noticed that there's a woman that saw a man freezing, and I believe she was from New York or New Jersey, and it was on social media, and she scrambled to the store, bought him the warmest coat she could find, and brought it back to them. Now, again, part of this is like reality TV. Part of this is like social experiment, because I've actually seen posts that looked real, but they were actually all manipulated, let's just say. They already had the camera up. They already did all that stuff prior. But even then, I'm going to say that even if it's in provocation of waking people up, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're doing it for the right reasons. If you're doing it to make yourself look good, it's still, you're doing good out there, but oh, there you go, yes, in Waterbury, Connecticut. Yep, that's exactly the post I'm talking about, in Waterbury, Connecticut. So now, and that woman, you could tell it was genuine. That was not the angles, everything. You can tell that was unscripted. You can tell that was just as real as it could get. It wasn't like Blair Witch type thought process behind it. Like, let's make it really, da-da-da. Let's make it look like it's really, homegrown when it's really not. But it was Waterbury, Connecticut. And I give props to that woman for doing that, because you know what? I'm sure it wasn't cheap. It wasn't inexpensive to buy a coat like that. But the fact is, she scrambled to a store, she did that, and she, ran as quickly back to find this person. And despite it all, he gave her a hug, God bless you, everything. I have received more blessings from people that were less fortunate than I. People that were homeless. And I'm not even kidding. I've had that happen. I've had more good juju and more blessing from people that had much less than I, than people that had much more than I. There's a humility, and there's a sense of, I call it earthy crunchy, but just living in a heartfelt way, living in a shamanic heartfelt way where it doesn't matter. It didn't matter that she had to scramble to get a coat. It's the fact that she could have drove by and ignored him. But she didn't do it. And this is the important part. But now, also too, looking at it from that standpoint, even when you're shopping, even if you're consciously, mindfully getting a gift for someone, you could do the same thing. You could look at what's out there. And once we edit this and put it up, we're going to try to put descriptions of places that you can. It may not be for now, for this particular season, but it will be up for replay. Different movements and charities that you can actually give a gift to someone, but it also gives back to a charity. So I will look into that as well and put some of those links up. A lot of those links, you can find them. That's amazing, Gene. That's great. And I know Gene is not a millionaire. So for you to do that, Gene, that's amazing. So I applaud you for that. But also, too, if you look on my website, which is also going to be kind of retweaked a little bit once I get my hands in there, is if you look at Be a Social Activist tab, there is a ton of different charities that you could, there are some that you can give gifts through, and also charities and movements that you can connect with. If they touch your heart, you can go ahead and give to others that way. So looking at it from the overall grand scheme, and that link is in the description. Thank you very much, my trusty producer. The Insight team may not be big, but we have a lot of heart, a lot of good juju. We try to do as much as we can mindfully, and we do the best we can. It's kind of like the little YouTube channel that could and should and will prevail. Knock on tree. I don't have wood nearby. Oh wait, I do have wood nearby. Knock on wood soldier. So this is like really, really important. So in this season of Yule and all the other holidays, Christmas and Hanukkah, doesn't matter what faith you walk in on. You could look mindfully and thoughtfully about the gifts that you give people. It's not all about materialism. You make your season what you want it. That's the important part. You make the season. It's not the stores that make the season. You do not have to give in to the hype. You do not have to give in to all of that. Put a little thought into the gifts you give. Because I will say this, it's work. It's harder work. It doesn't make it easier. A gift card, blowing into a grocery store and going, okay, Omaha Steakhouse, Omaha Steaks, Longhorn, Starbucks, Walmart, Target, Bath and Body, Pottery Barn. You could literally, in one fell swoop, shop for 30 people. In a blink. Just with gift cards. And that's great. And it's the gift of giving is very important and it's really sweet. However, what I challenge you to do is be a little more thoughtful, a little more mindful about the gifts you give people. In the past year or so, I've randomly received gifts, and they were gifts I'm going to call them just because gifts. People that thought and they supported, and they were like, I want to make sure Moon has this. As soon as I saw this, I thought of Moon. That was really sweet. Recently, I received coffee from the UK, so I want to say thank you from my Welshie dragon friend in Wales. You're amazing. Yes, that's Beth, by the way. Beth in Wales. She sent me some amazing Taylor's coffee, which is just fantastic. But the thing is, it's great to be thought of. And even if it's a text message, even if it's just a random email, or whatever it is, just saying, hey, just thinking of you. Sending prayers your way. How are you doing? Are you okay? And there are people that people are near and dear to me that every now and then they'll just check in. Not much different than I check in to say, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. How are you? Is everything okay? How's things? I just want to make sure everything's good in your part of the world or in your life or whatever it may be. So that mindfulness and that thoughtfulness and that love you can give in also giving gifts during this season. We have the practical and frivolous gift mentality too. Ultimately, it's what the person you're giving it to. if they love practical gifts, if they've been wanting that blender forever and you know that they wouldn't buy it for themselves, yeah, get them a blender. It really depends on if you know that they will love it, they're gonna want it, they're gonna need it, things like that. That's cool. Ultimately, it's where it's coming from. It's coming from the heart. It's coming from not, oh, look how much I spent on you. It's more, look how much love and thought I put into your gift. I care. I love you. I want you to, this is just a little something that made me think of you. It's a token of affection. It's a token of caring. I think that's what it all was based on, even back in our own nativity, in the Catholic and Christian faith, the three wise kings, the three wise men that came in, they brought, in that faith, they brought frankincense, myrrh, and gold or silver, I forget. Bad Catholic here, sorry. Or pantheist Buddhist, but that's part of the basis of, it's a conglomerate or a mishmash of a lot of the different traditions put together in one. The tree is pagan. Santa Claus is also pagan. Santa Claus was known, and it's funny because I didn't know this until recently, thinking about it, because I was looking at it, I was researching other things, and I stumbled across the fact that Santa Claus, Odin, was also considered Santa. You could look it up. Odin, All-Father, the father of Thor, and the adopted father of Loki. Imagine that. So it's interesting. But you don't have to suck the soul and spirit out of this season. And this is primarily why I wanted to talk about this topic today, because it's always about, I try to bring in soul and spirit into my broadcasts every week. I try to give you a takeaway from when you walk away from this broadcast to say, I never thought of it that way, or that's an interesting take on it, or what can I do to do that better? I hope and challenge you all to be better and do better, because to me that's really important. Ultimately, that is the main reason why I do what I do. I'm talking in life. I'm not even just talking this little YouTube channel that could. I'm talking about just doing it. As a matter of fact, I have to give a big shout out to my Korean students out there that have subscribed and watched my replays, because it's usually really late in Korea, or actually really early in the morning, and a lot of them start early in the morning. So 안녕하세요. And also have to say 고맙습니다 to all my students for checking this out and subscribing. And people are wondering, what the hell did Moon just say? Well, 안녕하세요 is hi, how are you? And 고맙습니다 is thank you. So, a little Korean lesson in Inside with Moonshadow on this wonderful Christmas season. But so everyone, every person, whether they're local or international, you're just amazing. So, or daebak. There's another Korean word for you. Well, exactly. And Gene, I know it's really, really difficult to, especially in a pinch with money too. I will honestly, it's been tough. Finance has been tough, and not just for myself, for a lot of people I know. So you could still shop and buy within nominal means. You can. But you have to look, you have to bury, you have to find, you have to dig, you have to really, really look at where you're going. Great! another quick pause, and I have no idea why that's doing that. Second time it's done that, so we'll have to edit that. Anyway, but ultimately, even no matter how much you have, to spend with with a budget, you can find some gifts for people, and they're still wonderful, heartfelt gifts. It just takes a little more work to get there, and you can do it. It is possible. Even, trust me, I know I myself personally, I don't have a whole lot of budget either. I can honestly say Santa's Poe. Santa's not a millionaire. In fact, the whole idea of Santa Claus was out of poverty. Look it up. Look up all the traditions of Santa. Father Christmas, whether it be pagan, whether it be Christian, whether it be Catholic, whatever you want to look at, look up Santa Claus. It came from giving, the giving at the Nativity, the three wise men, that were gift giving around this time of year, but also too, Santa Claus came from giving to the poor. So ultimately, that's really what it's all about. And this is why the topic is what it is. This is why I haven't been terribly unhappy. Commercialism sucks. Let's not kid ourselves. However, if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're giving because you want to give, and you're being thoughtful about who you're giving it to, you're being mindful of, I so know that this person would love this. They would never buy it for themselves. Or this just screams them. That's no different than making a home-cooked meal. That's no different than, making baked goods or anything like that. Putting love into something. Whether you make it, whether you draw it, whether you handcraft it, whether you buy it. That's the whole bottom line of this topic today, is being mindful, being thoughtful, and the love you give, think of the person you're giving it to. Here's a spin on the gift card idea. Why not handcraft a card if you can? You're putting a little love. Even though it's a gift card, and you notice on my social media, I will share a lot of DIY stuff. Stuff that I find on the internet, posts I find, and also things you could do to instill some of your own energy into something. Whether it be making crazy coffee tables or making stuff out of cardboard. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. So that's a nice little twist. Get a handmade card if you can't make it yourself, and put your gift card in there. So there's always a way of doing it. There's always a way of you instilling your energy, your juju, into the gift you give to someone else. There's always a way. So that's something for you to think about. Something that you could do. And just to quickly summarize, put your heart into gift giving, whatever it may be. Put some of your own energy into that gift. Look locally. You can shop local and find some really great finds, and believe it or not, they may not cost a ton of money. They may actually be more reasonable than going to a big box store and getting something that's not made as nice. Something to think about. And if you don't have any local mom and pop shops because they've been steamrolled by commercialism and big box stores in Taiwan and Japan and whatever, think about going online and getting world goods, world trade, fair trade stuff, stuff that's made unique. Unique things. Handmade, one-of-a-kinds, limited editions of things. Something else you can think about it. So even if you can't make it yourself, maybe you could have someone else that's artistic, or an amazing artist, or someone that's a great potter, or someone is just another artist, another artisan. Give for you. Something to think about. Also, too, putting your touch, your final touch on a gift, to me, is the icing on the cake. It's the whipped cream on the coffee. That is the part of it. Sometimes the intention is it far supersedes the gift itself. Just a little food for thought. Just a little moonsight for you. But I want to thank you all for being here in the broadcast, in my show. It's 101, right? This 101st show here. A lot of new things that are coming up. A lot of big things are coming up, and we're working on them. Now, granted, just understand that this is a ragtag small group of people, and this is just, it may be a small outfit, but there's a lot of heart and soul that comes into doing this show every week. And honestly, I will say this: it's because of all of you that are really impressive to me, for me to be doing this every week. Because there are weeks that I just don't have the energy to do it, and I still do it every week. Still here, whether it be a holiday, whether it be no power, whatever it is, still do it. It's still done. The show must go on, and it's messy, and usually not that polished, but I kind of take a little pride on that. Sorry, not sorry. So I want to thank you all for being here. Lots of love and light to you all. And next week, it's the holiday. It's legit Christmas. So hopefully I will see all of you there. If not, you guys can catch the replays, because to me, family means everything. Family is number one. Family is first. Whether they're good family, whether they're functional family, whether they're dysfunctional family, family is still family. Whether they're blood or not blood, family is still family. So you can take that with you. And I'm grateful and appreciative of all of you being here. Another show, another week, 101 on this holiday season. And I want to thank you all for being here and taking the time to spend with me here on Inside with Moonshadow. So lots of love and support. And also, too, coming up, watch, if you'd like to know more about Inside with Moonshadow, about what I'm doing, what my causes are, what I'm doing overall, you can look at moonphoenixrising.com or phoenixrisinghealingarts.com, or you can check on Facebook. All my social tabs are on there, as well as the description here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, which I think the bell's down there. So subscribe and follow and hit the bell. And if you like, and I appreciate all of you. So thank you so much. And as always, be amazing, be strong, be amazing, be you. So thank you all. Love and light. Take care.